The Trump Organization and Allen Weisselberg are now facing a lot of different charges. And yesterday, in advance of the charges, we had heard that Trump was excited about it. He thought it was going to be a good thing because he could spin it as a witch hunt. Well, John Santucci, a news reporter for ABC, spoke with Trump, and apparently that wasn't the way it played out in real time.
Terry, actually, I just spoke to former President Trump, who's reacting to this in real time. He called the charges a disgrace, said it's a continuation of the witch hunt that's been going on for some time, repeatedly said it's a shame. And I also said to him, Terry, we saw some of that footage of Allen Weisselberg and the legal team walking into court. I said, Mr. President, are you aware that they brought your CFO in handcuffs? The president was unaware of that. He actually paused for a moment while we were on the phone, Terry, looked up at cable news coverage, and said to me, John, I can't believe it. It's a disgrace, a disgrace. He's a tremendous person. And then he went on to say about Weisselberg, this is former President Trump, Terry, he says they are pressuring him, setting him up. They want him to lie against Trump. I then asked the former president, does he think that's going to happen? And Terry, his response was no.
Okay, as people are pointing out in the chat, yes. On Allen Weisselberg, the mask does make him look like some sort of massive bird. That is totally true. I thought John Oliver was in that video. But anyway, so Jeff, he had been saying, this is gonna be a great thing, man. We're gonna be able to spin it as a witch hunt. It's gonna get everybody fired up. But apparently as it was actually happening, when he saw the actual handcuffs, it maybe made it a little bit more real for him, and he suddenly took it a little bit more seriously.
Yeah, this is the pillow guy redux. That's what this is. You had that guy out there talking about how, I can't wait till they bring me to court, till Dominion comes and takes me to court, because then we're going to be able to present our evidence. It's sort of along that thinking. The problem with Donald Trump is that he is surrounded by people who don't tell him the truth. And even if they try to tell him the truth, he won't admit the truth. He doesn't understand. So he's not that intelligent. He's really not that smart. He's not the smartest, greatest person, doesn't have the greatest genes. And so he doesn't understand what's going on around him. And then when he sees the handcuffs, you're right. It's real now. I might be in trouble, or at least I might lose some money, or I might lose the guy who knows where all the bodies are buried.
Well, let me ask you a more general question. So if this were a reasonable world, having the former CFO or the current CFO, the Trump org going down for a former president, that would hurt them. But that would probably be the same world where having your personal lawyer, your handler, all these people go to jail would also be a bad thing. And clearly that didn't bother his base. So it is impossible to speculate, but I'm gonna ask you to do it anyway. Going into the midterms, and perhaps if it lasts long enough into the presidential primary for the Republicans, will this actually be more likely to get his base worked up and support him? Or will it is it the straw that broke the camel's back, and it's one more reason they'll turn to DeSantis or Tucker Carlson in a couple of years?
I mean, it really depends on how into Trump the base still is and what he does in between now and then. I mean, I'm seeing indications that really the only people that are left are a small group of fringe Republicans that hang on everything he says. And understand that right now the Republican Party is pretty much fringe, in my opinion at least, where you still have like half of all Republicans that believe that Donald Trump is still president. At some point, I think they're gonna realize, you know what, this guy's kind of a loser. He's not really doing anything other than sitting there and complaining on his blog, of which got shut down, if you didn't remember that, because of low traffic. You even had videos of Donald Trump doing a rally where people were just walking away because they were bored. So it really depends on how much that spreads, how bored these people are of Trump's, and basically he's sounding like a broken record at this point. Election, they stole the election from me. It's very, very unfair, radical left. And I think he's gonna lose a lot of his fan club, and it's not gonna matter too much. Somebody else is going to replace him. Somebody like, I could see Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's already raised tons and tons of money for trolling AOC, for saying the most outrageous and despicable things. I think she is going to be the new and upcoming replacement for Donald Trump. But then again, of course, anyone can happen. The worst people tend to crop up. something about like the worst chunks bubbling up to the surface. I think that's what you're gonna see. So yeah, it's basically the Republican Party's a rotten stew.
Yeah, that's disgusting metaphor, but likely to be true. Yeah.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.